Hello again and welcome to Catholic Social Teachings 101. I'm Jim Grannon and it's my privilege each month to bring to you a new program about Catholic social thinking, teaching, thought. And we're on the first principle of that topic, which is the right to life and the dignity of the human person. And for that reason, I thought we couldn't do better than to bring to you a panel of people that are very, very much committed in their own lives and in their work to that principle. They all come to us from Right to Life of Central California, but they all have different work in that group. I wonder if each one of them, beginning with Karla, could introduce themselves, their commitment to Right to Life and Right to Life of Central California. Karla.
Hi, Jim. My name is Karla Gunner-Blank, and I had the pleasure of joining Right to Life of Central California in March of this year. Growing up in the ministry has allowed me the opportunity to take my professional experiences and combine them with my personal passions, all rolled into one, and to be a part of this amazing mission at Right to Life.
Marcos.
Oh yeah, my name is Marcos Espinoza, and I've been a part of Right to Life for about 2 years now. I'm the communications director here at Right to Life, and I've been doing pro-life work since I've been Catholic, and me and my wife have been part of a ministry called Theology of the Body, and kind of streamlined right into the pro-life movement, and we've been doing work with Right to Life for 2 years now.
Marianne.
Hi, I'm Marianne Angelillo. I started as a child with my parents who founded what has become Right to Life of Central California. They were co-founders of that. So as a young child, I saw literature about abortion, and I knew it just wasn't a good thing for anybody. So I am a volunteer and have become a board member of the Right to Life.
We do have then a very good group of people that not only personally, but professionally and passionately are committed to this topic. Let me read to you what you can find on the website at the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, which is USCCB.org. Here's what you'll read under that first principle of Catholic social teaching. Life and dignity of the human person. The Catholic Church proclaims that human life is sacred and the dignity of the human person is the foundation of a moral vision for society. This is the foundation of all social teaching principles. In our society, human life is under direct attack from abortion and euthanasia. The value of human life is being threatened by embryonic stem cell research, unregulated sperm and egg donation, the deconstruction of the natural family, which perpetuates family separation and fragmentation, and the use of the death penalty. It's a lot of verbiage. What I'd like you to see right now is how the USCCB and Catholic Relief Services together have created a beautiful 3-minute video that tries to share something that's very complex into a form that's very intelligible. Let's run that first clip and see what that first principle is all about.
Children bear the image of their parents both physically and psychologically and spiritually, so in all those ways they are representative, if you want, of their parents. So in a similar way, all of us children of God represent God. We bear the likeness of God. So every human being, all have a purpose, a mission. They're part of God's plan.
At the root of our dignity is this right to life. And the right to life extends from conception to natural death. It applies to us across the whole of our existence. And so to have an ethic of life means at all times the Church is concerned for how people are doing at any given moment.
When we see people trying to justify treating other people in a certain way because they're so small, they're not born yet, they're not self-aware yet, their skin is another color, they're so disabled. Whenever we see people being spoken of more like objects, then we know that the principle of the radical equality of every human person is being violated.
The human race is a family. We're all children of God. And so we should learn that lesson from individual families, that there's no one who's expendable. Everyone is worthy of reverence and protection, but especially the weakest among us.
Our dignity also cries out for the freedom and the opportunity to become everything God intended us to be. So part of life, part of fulfilling life, part of serving life, is actually creating the opportunities for everyone to have the fullness of life.
I think Catholic social teaching urges us to operate at both the kind of individual and the global levels. Both the individual who's in immediate need, so think of the corporal and spiritual works of mercy. At the same time, we have to be attentive to the more global, the more societal violations of justice. There is systemic violence, there is systemic injustice. That has to be addressed too.
So it's not just the lawmakers, but national institutions, corporations, have this obligation to affirm the principle of the right to life and dignity, and then to decide how their institution can go about realizing it. On a personal level, it requires figuring out how you, and often this is the most effective level, at the one-on-one level, at the small group level, can make a difference, and in realizing those parts of human dignity that are in short supply and that you have the wherewithal to do something about.
All of the church's social teaching, its understanding of family, of community life, of justice, of good governance, all of this comes back to the question, what will fulfill life for every human being as God has intended it?
Every time I see that clip from CRS and the USCCB, I learn something, I see something new, I uncover something I hadn't noticed. I wonder if our panel, taking turns, wants to look at that through the eyes of Right to Life of Central California, and what aspects of engagement and equipping and embracing you see yourselves engaged in. Who would like to begin? I think, Marianne, engagement. How does Right to Life engage with people?
Well, we want to continue to talk about the culture of life in our society. This is not a dead issue. It's something that many, many, many people, Catholics and non-Catholics, non-religious, religious, are struggling with. And it is because it just doesn't sit right with people. Abortion is just not a natural thing. We try to engage others in the conversation about abortion and about euthanasia and rights of the unborn, the infirm, the aged in our society. We have a booth at the Central California Women's Conference every September. We're out at the Fresno and Madera fairs in the fall. We have YouTube videos, pro-life podcasts. We just keep trying to communicate the message of life with clarity and compassion.
So you engage on all those levels. Marcos, you have this idea of equipping people. How do you do that in your ministry?
Yeah, well, in Right to Life, we like to say we also equip our advocates to defend the sanctity of all human life through effective tools and training. And we do exactly what we saw in this clip right now. We were just watching how they're talking about human dignity. And one of the things that we equip our advocates to do is to realize that what really matters is our humanity. That's what matters, and that's why we should protect all life, including the unborn. Because there's something, we all agree that we all deserve equal treatment. We agree that we should all be treated equally, so that means that there has to be something the same about us in order to deserve that equal treatment. And the only thing that really is the same about all of us, that doesn't change ever, is the fact that we're humans. And if humanity is what matters, then shouldn't the unborn or anybody who's labeled as human also be protected, at all stages of life? And we believe that they should. And this is one of the things that we really drive, to push the dignity of a human being and the fact that, human beings were created in God's image, and that is why we should be protected, because we share humanity with all humans.
What is the embracing aspect, Karla, that you are hoping in your beginning ministry here at Right to Life? How will you be embracing people with this message?
Well, Jim, we embrace individuals facing unplanned pregnancies as well as those hurt by abortion, and that is both men and women that suffer from that. And we do that by speaking at colleges, whether it's outside, just free speech, engaging with women and men that have been hurt by abortion or are currently pregnant and they're in a crisis situation and they don't know what to do, and giving them the resources. It's coming alongside people, not judging them, and loving them as Christ would love them.
What are you finding is most challenging in trying to do this engagement, this equipping, and this embracing? What become obstacles or real hurdles right now?
Well, I believe I think a big hurdle is that it is a very controversial issue. And I mean, one of the presentations that we gave is, I titled it Pro-Life in the Pro-Choice World. And I think we've been bombarded with the media, we've been bombarded at schools or everywhere we go that pro-choice is what you need to be, and that's the correct position, when in fact we know that it's not. And I think we're battling against the culture a lot right now and letting people know, no, our church is pro-life, the Bible is pro-life, and we just need to get that across to people and let them know it's not easy to be pro-life nowadays, but it's a position that we definitely need to teach our kids and our community that is the position of the church.
Marianne, you've been at this since the beginning, you might say, from your own parents. How have things, in your view, almost changed or evolved or become more complicated in your own lifetime of working at Right to Life of Central California? How has the issue morphed?
Evolved or morphed. You know, strangely, I would say it has become less complex because we have 3D ultrasound now. Before, it was very, very easy for people to not think about the unborn as a human person because you couldn't see inside the womb. We had Leonard Nielsen's early work in Life magazine, but again, these are flat, one-dimensional images, just a photograph. And now, in contrast to that, we have three-dimensional ultrasound where you see a little human person, and then you realize, oh my gosh, even I've recently been flabbergasted, really, to see a presentation where there was an 8-week fetus that was responding to stimulation with a light. It was using a fetoscope. Someone was filming the child. And I'm a nurse. I have a degree in biology and a degree in nursing. So I knew the facts of fetal development, but then to see that little person in there moving just made me more convicted on an even deeper level. And not to speak too much, but I think the movement has changed now because so many men and women have been affected, either their friend or their sister or their brother or someone they know has had an abortion. And so it's such a painful issue, and there's so much compassion now around it because you realize how hurt people have been by some of the lies kind of dehumanizing the baby. I think a lot of people at the beginning just didn't know.
We are taking our break at this point, but believe it, we are coming back in a minute, and we have another visual to show you, another commentary from our panel, because we've only opened the conversation briefly. Stay tuned, we'll be back in 1 minute. That's good.
KNXT, the nation's only full-powered broadcast station owned and operated by a Catholic diocese in the U.S. and streaming live on the internet at KNXT.TV, need your support to keep the message of the good news alive. Just go to KNXT.TV, click on the Make a Financial Gift, go to Donate, and fill out your one-time or monthly offering under PayPal. It's just that easy. Your donation makes it possible for KNXT, Catholic Television, to continue its ministry by celebrating the Mass and proclaiming the Gospel. Thank you from KNXT.
Welcome back to Catholic Social Teachings 101, our third program, the second part of that third program on that first principle of Catholic social thinking, the right to life and the dignity of the human person. There is a beautiful program that KNXT has been involved in going down to Los Angeles for an event called OneLife LA. It's a major effort of the Archdiocese of Los Angeles to introduce to all that can come down to that great city to experience the importance of the pro-life position of the Church, this first principle of Catholic social thinking. So let's see a clip right now. It's not going to show us the fanfare that goes on during the celebration, but the thinking that's behind it. It's the theology behind the right to life issue. Let's see it fleshed out by the Archdiocese of LA.
How can you say that you love God whom you don't see if you do not love your neighbor whom you see? I was hungry and you gave me to eat. Hungry not only for bread, hungry for love, for the tender concern of somebody. Naked, I was naked, and you clothed me, not only with a piece of cloth. Nakedness is that loss of that beautiful human dignity, the dignity that have been created to love and to be loved. I was homeless, and you took me in, not only for a house made of bricks. I was homeless, unwanted, unloved, a throwaway of society. But today we have right here in our country. Are we there to be that love, that kindness, that thoughtfulness to them, and share with them the terrible pain, the terrible feeling of terrible loneliness? Be somebody to somebody.
Before letting our panel join and talk about that clip from the LA Archdiocese, I want to remind you we have a massive website. And on that website we have a very large YouTube collection, 1,600 videos. And one of them is a Telly Award winning video that was filmed by people here at our station who went down to LA and with Bishop Ochoa and with the youth people of our diocese and many others went down and actually experienced OneLife LA. I hope you'll go and see that video. It's not only beautiful, it's, as I said, Telly Award winning, and we also want you to visit our website for many other resources on social justice. On that note of invitation to do things at the website, what about doing things in the street? What is it that you three can share with us about how what they're doing in LA might actually be already happening here, right here in the diocese? So I wonder if we could begin with Marcos telling us something about some of your ministry, Marcos.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've been a part of the, OneLife LA. We've been there as a Right to Life. We've also been to San Francisco Walk for Life. But you don't necessarily have to go all the way to San Francisco or all the way to LA. There's things happening here every day. There's things happening right now, just here in Fresno. I mean, one of the biggest things that we have that goes on throughout the year is our sidewalk counseling program. And sidewalk counseling is basically, these men and women who get trained. It's a very short training, but it tells you what you can and can't do in the sidewalk, but just learning how to speak to women who are coming into those abortion clinics and learning what we can offer them and let them know that that's really a non-choice, or that there's other choices that they can do, and that's not the only thing that they can do. And we have that going on throughout the year just here in Fresno, in the sidewalks of the Planned Parenthood, and then also the other abortion clinic here in Fresno, we have two. But we also have another ministry called 40 Days for Life, which is usually a 2 times a year campaign. This year the campaign is going to be September 28th through November 6th, and it's basically being outside of the abortion clinics, praying from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So to 12 hours a day. We need as many people involved as possible. We get a lot of support from the Catholic churches. I'm very thankful for, but I wish to see a lot more people out there. And it's very simple, just going out there. Some people like to hold a sign. Some people like to talk to women that are coming in. And some people just like to go out there and pray the rosary or just pray their devotionals and really just be a light of God in front of these clinics and letting people know that there is another choice, and giving them our side of the story, because they don't get it anywhere else, but they get it there on the sidewalk from us. And of course, another thing that we can do to get a little more information about this is we'd love to come out to your churches, parish groups, adult groups, youth groups, and just come and speak to you on the pro-life topic, either why the Catholic Church is pro-life, why we're pro-life, or what there is to do in the pro-life movement here in Fresno. So we'd be more than happy to come out and share the word of life with you at your parish.
Marianne, what more can you tell us about the Women's Conference or anything else that's become something that you've become very involved in?
I wanted to backtrack for 2 seconds and just, I know we're watching Catholic TV right now, and I happen to be Catholic and watch Catholic TV, but Right to Life of Central California is actually not associated with our church or any church. We believe abortion is a human rights issue. And that's not to say in Fresno, the Catholic people started Right to Life, but we have welcomed with open arms people of every faith and denomination. And we're so happy that everyone has joined together to really overcome this injustice. Now, as far as what I've been involved in, I love to talk to people one-on-one. I've encountered many people. I'll just tell a really quick story of the women's conference this year. A little gal rolled up to me with a little baby in a stroller, and she, I won't give details, but she said, "Hey, I just wanted to say this is a 40 days baby." And I said, I thought I knew what she meant, but I said, "Can you tell me what that means?" And she said, "This little girl right here is a direct result." She said, "I had made my appointment and was going in for an abortion, and people were out there praying, and she had talked to one person in particular during our 40 Days for Life campaign, and you know what? He helped her realize she had another choice." And she's now parenting that beautiful baby girl. I said, because I wanted to know, I said, "How?" And I remember saying it like that, how are you now? And she goes, she lit up like a Christmas tree, and she said, "How could I not be great?" She goes, "Look at this little face." And it just made me cry. She cried. It was crazy. Not everybody's story ends that beautifully, but women choose abortion because they feel like they have no other choice. It's a choice like you want to cut off your left arm or your right. It's not an easy choice. So we're there to tell people there are other choices, and we can offer help. And if people have made that choice, offer compassion and healing. In fact, Karla might be able to tell us a little bit more
Karla,
about
where
that.
would you like to join right now?
And with Embracing, there are several support networks that we support. One is Rachel's Vineyard. It is a weekend retreat for men and women that have been hurt by abortion. And it's very helpful and healing process that they go through. And they have 2 workshops, weekend retreats that are coming up. They have one that is June 24th through the 26th. And that is a Spanish speaking only weekend retreat. And then we have July 15th through the 17th. And that's here in Fresno. You can get information by calling a toll-free number 877-629-6626. And that's an amazing healing experience for anybody that has been touched or hurt by abortion. We also have, we work with Pregnancy Care Centers of Fresno. That is a facility that will help women for unplanned crisis pregnancies. And they have the counselors and prayer groups and support that you need to get through that crisis situation, because you're not alone. And they are doing amazing things.
We've got about a minute. Marcos, do you have one last thought for this program?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just don't be afraid to get involved. You never know what God has in store for you. There might be that one life that's waiting to be saved just by you, and maybe it's just standing outside the sidewalk. Maybe it's just being a part or bringing us to your parish, where you can change someone's life or really help somebody in their struggles if they're facing a difficult pregnancy. So you never know. Just let God do His will in your life.
What I want to do is thank our panel who were here today. It would be Karla and Marcos and Marianne. We'll be back again next month. In fact, in 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks we have a new program for you called Catholic Social Teaching 101. When we're back next time, we'll be going into other material about this issue. We probably have left you with some very good ideas, but you may have some questions. If you have any way you'd like to be in touch with us, please call us anytime. We're going to post that information here on our screen at the end of the program. Join us, join Right to Life of Central California. Be in touch with us, letting us know you're watching this program and you need them to come and visit you, or you want more information about Catholic social teaching. We will be back again, as I said, but until then, be willing to share these thoughts not only with your family, but as Marcos and Karla and Marianne have said, with anyone that looks like they need this positive word of life. Till next time, God bless.